want to start with the origin of, of A Minute with Cole. Kind of what sparked you to come up with this idea, and maybe share a little bit about the background with it and kind of what it is for my audience.
Okay. So A Minute with Cole was birthed really out of the pandemic, because if you asked me if I was gonna get on social media and put myself out there, absolutely not. I had a social media account. I had both Facebook and Instagram, but I was never on it. I was a lurker. You just kind of scroll just in case you run into somebody at Walmart and you kind of know what's going on. You don't have to keep the conversation too long.
Right.
I was one of those. So when the pandemic hit, so all the churches had shut down. Never in my grandparents' natural life has the church been shut down. You can't go in it. And my church, we didn't have a virtual platform.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of churches who didn't have the virtual platform, they were left behind. That's why I see all those memes with all the church Zooms. It's the funniest thing in the world.
Yeah.
You gotta watch.
Very funny. Yes.
But so one of the elders in my church, so he wanted to still reach people virtually. So he launched his own ministry called Redemption Ministries.
Mm-hmm.
And so really it's about encouraging people, outreaching people, and teaching people and meeting them where they are. So A Minute with Cole came out of I'm always good at telling somebody what to do. I'm always good at that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, oh, maybe you should try this. I think this would be great for your virtual ministry. So I sent him a video. I don't even think my hair was done. I read a scripture and elaborated on it, sent it to him. And they had a meeting and they were like, Nicole, you should do this. I'm like, I'm not putting myself out there. All these seasoned preachers will get to see me. Absolutely not. I do not want to come under any kind of scrutiny, criticism. Keep me out of it. I'll just tell everybody what to do.
Uh-huh.
I agreed to it. And A Minute with Cole became a short video of really kind of elaborating on scripture, but not preaching at people, because I think that people are having a hard time right now. It's a difficult time. People are depressed. They're anxious. They've lost loved ones. They're losing things, and it's just a hard time. And so I think we've done enough preaching at people, and we need to talk to them wherever they are. And plus, people are not sitting more than 5 minutes to listen to what anyone has to say anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to talk for 5 minutes and just encourage people and uplift them and just meet them where they are. And so that's what A Minute with Cole is about. And it's not just the videos, it's even the posts, and it's still evolving. I don't even know what's next. I don't know. People want, what do? They do sweatshirts and t-shirts. Everybody got a sweatshirt and a t-shirt.
Yeah, apparel. Sure. Yep. That's really cool. Yeah, I think anytime I mention this to a few other people, and I'll mention it to you as well, anytime I see someone doing something that is for the right reasons, and something that's bettering, I don't even know if that's a word, but something that's improving the lives of others who may come across it, I'm just always I love seeing that so much. It's inspiring for me to see, as well as it's inspiring for me to see for the things that I'm kind of working towards. But it's also very important for me as a man of God, whenever I see people that are in my age demographic that are doing things for the Lord, and like you said before, putting themselves out there, knowing that maybe this is an uncomfortable situation, this is something you ordinarily would not do, but you embrace it, and you realize that it's positively affecting people. Like you said, 5 minute, maybe people don't have 5 minutes all the time. So you have that piece of content, plus the posts, the quotes, and those types of things that are quick. And I'm loving what I'm seeing so far, and I'm definitely excited to see what the future brings for that.
Me too.
Yeah, I'll be the first. I love that. Me too. I'll be the first to hit me up with the sweatshirts or the hoods or the mugs or whatever you got.
Probably some mugs. Everybody got a hoodie and a t-shirt. I think I spent all of Black Friday buying t-shirts and hoodies from small businesses. I gotta do something else.
That's funny. Switch it up. I like that. All right, so that's really cool. So let's. I want to circle back a little bit to Masters in Social Work, and just
Okay.
When did you realize that social work was something that you saw yourself getting into?
So I started working in 2008 at a group home for kids ages 13 through 17 that were sent there through DCPMP, or they were just they were runaways or in transition. And so, like, working with a lot of those young people and kind of seeing some of the things that they experience, a lot of the trauma and, the broken homes, the addiction, all these different things. And being around those kids and almost being like a parental figure, being a counselor, just being whatever they needed in that moment was very fulfilling. And honestly, working with young people was like my favorite job of all time, of
Mm,
having any of these social work jobs. I loved it. I lived for it. And so I think I started in the group home when I was still in undergrad. And someone mentioned to me like, Nicole, why don't you go for your master's in social work? And I'm like, I don't know. And I just went ahead and I did it. And here I am in the helping field.
wow, that's incredible. So you're so no longer in the group home now. You're somewhere else.
No, I am in corporate now. So
Okay.
I'm in like managed care. And I have to be honest, I miss a lot of the direct
Mhm.
work.
Yeah.
So like a minute with Cole allows me to kind of like not really do it directly, but it still allows me to like speak to people and feel
Yeah.
like I'm making a difference. Whereas I think in the corporate level, not as much.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's huge. I just when you talk about having your corporate, professional 9 to 5, and then having that other thing that you're doing, after work, that's providing that fulfillment. That was very much my situation when I was still at Verizon, right? So I worked at Verizon for 12 years out of college, and towards the latter part of working there is when I started realizing that fulfillment was probably the most important thing for me, and it was missing and lacking from the job. I was so blessed to be in a job that paid well and that had flexibility, and it wasn't stressful because I knew what I was doing and I was a good performer at the job. But when I would talk to people about, yeah, I would share those things, and I would say, yeah, but I'm thinking about leaving, for the reasons of it having these pros but it not having the fulfillment that I was really looking for. And I was kind of I would wrestle back and forth and say, all right, well, do I want to, I don't want to say throw away, but do I want to kind of just leave all of this stuff that I worked for behind and do something totally different? Or do I want to stay here and do some things, on the back end after work to kind of give me that fulfillment? And I certainly tried the latter at first, just to make sure that, working with children and doing something related to education, making sure that even though I feel like this is what I want to do, can I really see myself doing this, full time?
Mm,
As like a, I guess dip your toe in the water type of a thing. And ultimately, yeah, of course, prayed on it to make such a significant decision,
right.
but ultimately decided to, move completely, change my career completely to become a teacher. And I think no matter what you're doing, someone mentioned to me a while ago, spending more time to do the things that you love to do. That was like a
Right.
thing that, I think I emailed you one of the questions that I'm going to ask about the billboard thing. So that's a question I asked someone a while ago, and on one of the interviews here, and that really stood out to me. It's not like only do the things that you love to doing. It's like
Hmm.
being deliberate and knowing that if there are things that bring you fulfillment in life, like you owe it to yourself, and then in our work we also, owe it to God and to others to be uplifted by these
Absolutely.
gifts that He's given us, right? So I think that's totally it resonated a lot with me. Cool. So Masters of Social Work. Jessica is a social worker. Jessica's in social work. She was where I don't know if
Is
you knew,
she?
knew that or not. Yeah, I was gonna say I know you
No.
guys graduated together. Of course, I don't know how much. I don't know if she's one of the people you would see when you were doing your stalking on Instagram, like you mentioned before. But
I
she
love Jess. She's so supportive.
yeah, there you go. There you go. She used to be at DCPMP, which is used to call DIFUS. She used to work there
Right.
actually, and she now works for a nonprofit. She's at a nonprofit now, helping parents who want to become foster parents, helping them through the process and everything like that. And yeah, I just think anything that you're doing that's fulfilling is just like one of the most important things that you can do for your mental health and everything like that.
You know what's interesting though? Because I think I ran into Jess. Actually, I take that back. Oh my gosh.
Mm,
At the group home. I think she was
Oh,
working for DCP&P, and I think I was working at the group home still.
wow. Okay. So your paths may have crossed when she was still there. Quite a few years
Yes,
back, 5, 6 years maybe.
yes,
Uh-huh.
yes. Because
Okay.
I worked there in 2008, and then I came back and I worked there a few years later. So no, wait a minute, I lied.
Uh-huh. Yeah, there you go. We're just gonna edit that out. It's okay. No, just snip, we'll just snip it out. It's all good. It's all good. What is the process? What has the process been like for you with like learning Instagram and how to post and all that stuff? Are you obviously it's a whole thing. You're doing a great job at it. Is it something that you just YouTube and just trial and error type of a situation, or how are you doing that?
Let me tell you, my first post in May. First of all, I knew nothing about stories. Okay. So I learned how to do stories and how to really, really post this past May. I'm
Okay.
embarrassed to say it, but it's the truth.
Wow. Okay.
Um, so my sister actually helped me to learn about hashtags and about getting a following. I've learned all of this in May. I didn't YouTube how to do like, the Facebook and Instagram thing, but I did have to YouTube to learn how to like record a video and edit it. I'd never done anything
Okay.
like that before.
Yes.
So
Yes.
YouTube,
Big
that's
time. Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, nah, that's awesome. Yeah, there was one that you posted not too long ago, with really dope editing. You like B-roll footage type of a thing, not just the constant video, but like you talking, but the video of you is like you looking away and things like that. I was very impressed with that. I don't know if you remember which one it was. I think you were like outside somewhere in the woods, maybe.
That was like I think I did that one in September. That was like my most recent
Okay.
video, and then I went
Yeah.
on like a hiatus.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sometimes you gotta go on a break. You gotta let people really, really yearn for that new drop, that new video drop, and then just hit them with it out of nowhere. That's what it's all about. Have you been watching any holiday movies lately, Jessica?
Oh, don't get me started. This is the wrong topic. I
Uh,
am a Hallmark Lifetime Christmas movie person.
Oh, so maybe you can. So we have a little issue with that. This is the second year in a row. Jessica really wants me to. We have YouTube TV, and for whatever reason,
Mhm.
those two networks are the ones that she needs, but they are not on YouTube TV. And so, like, I'm trying to figure out ways to, like, yeah, it's really bad. I'm like not being a good
Oh, you
husband.
need to fix that.
I am. I'm like
Fix
literally
that real
tonight.
quick.
Yes, exactly. We need to figure
God is not
something out.
pleased.
No, this is like one year you can do it, and then the second year you can't just like keep this ongoing. Like clearly this is an
Mm-mm.
important thing. What's the favorite one that you've seen this year, if you had to say?
Um, let's see. I can't even feel like I had like a favorite, but one that I was really looking forward to is the one with Kelly Rowland, the Merry Little Christmas.
Okay, did that come out already?
Yes. So
Okay.
it was, I think, on the Saturday of Thanksgiving. So yeah, this past
Okay.
Saturday. I think I did a whole story about it. I was so excited. So they had one last year. So it was, the romance story of them getting together. And then this one is supposed to be the wedding. And I love me a good follow up.
Oh, meaning this is a sequel to one that came
It's
out
a
last year.
sequel. Yes. Uh-huh.
Oh, wow. And the first one was real good, and the second one, both of them were real good.
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
man.
And we
All
had
right.
to
Well,
support Kelly Rowland.
yeah, of course, of course. I loved seeing her in the Beyonce the Lion King special that she did. Did you watch that like a few
No,
months
I
ago?
didn't.
Okay.
No.
You've heard about it, like the big like
Yes.
video music thing? Yeah, that was
Mm-hmm.
that was something else. Cause so Jess's sister, I would say she's a big, like a average to big Beyonce fan. Like, I guess everyone's a fan of Beyonce essentially, right? To
Oh, the
some extent.
beehive.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. She came over, and we us three watched it together, and it came at a time, right in the midst of me and my content creation and thinking of creative ways to make videos more, appealing and things like that. So I'm sitting there watching it, and I'm just like, I'm watching it and just like in awe of, I'm watching it differently than I normally would, I guess I would say, like looking at the way things are filmed and the way they're edited and everything. I'm like, this is like incredible. This is like mild. This is, obviously training and experience, working through that type of thing will get you there. But if you get a chance, definitely check it out. I think you would, I think you definitely enjoy it for sure.
Well,
And
your videos are awesome. They really
thank
are.
you.
I've seen you grow and you're really doing an
Okay.
amazing job. So give yourself a lot of credit.
I very much appreciate that. I was watching, I was doing a Reddit piano live thing the other day. I do that kind of often, and it's fun
Hmm.
because it gives me a chance to play in front of people. And there was a time not too long ago where playing a piano in front of people, I would absolutely get extremely nervous. And now, like, it's like a second, it's not even something I think about, which is pretty awesome. I think maybe playing physically in front of people, it might still be a little bit maybe nerves or something, but it won't be. There was at school when I was teaching last year, one day, like the week of Martin Luther King assembly, I went into school and got an email, and they said, Kevin, would you mind, would you be interested in playing the piano as the students are walking in front of the entire school during the assembly?
Oh
And
man.
Nicole, I kid you not, when I got the email, the first thing that I thought of was, how am I going to reply to this email to get out of this uncomfortable situation? I was not comfortable. Like, literally my heart sank. I was like, I was like, I don't know if I can do this. But ultimately, actually, what I did was I ultimately ended up doing it. I went on to this Facebook piano group that I'm a part of. And I asked them questions. I said, hey guys, I'm playing in front of my entire school. It's the first time me doing anything like this. I said, what kind of advice do you guys have? And man, were these people so supportive and informative. There were so many like just amazing pieces of information that I did not think about. So much so that I had to make one of those, like, I turned that whole thing into an episode, just like how to overcome stage fright. And because a lot of those I felt were applicable to the person who's giving a speech or doing anything in front of a crowd of people. But getting back to the point that I was saying about playing the piano, I was watching, someone asked me a question like, oh, I would love to hear more about your music journey. And while I was playing, and then I was like, by the way, I was like, I have a episode, I think literally the first episode of my show, after the introduction. Episode 0 was the intro. Episode 1 was like the first one with like content in it. And I was like,
Hmm.
yeah, I was like, I did an episode on very much on this, pulled it up on my iPad and held it up to the screen while so they can watch a little bit. And that was my first time watching like an old video compared to like some of the latest ones. And it was like a special moment. It was like really like sentimental, I guess is the word.
Yeah.
Like sentimental looking. I was like, wow, look at young Kevin here. Same age, it was only 9 months ago. Like, look at young Kevin here talking about his music journey. Like it was just like a cool, like a nice vibe, for sure. Man of God, woman of God perspective. And I want to know, like, to the person out there who feels like they there's too much of a distance between them and our Lord and Savior. There needs to be like closer, there needs to be more time spent, um praying and getting closer and spending time in the word and stuff. What would you say to that person that kind of wants to get back into it and just hasn't for whatever reason?
I would say that there's nothing that can separate you from God's love, nothing that can put distance between you and God. And if you want to get close, just have a conversation. Because believe it or not, the Spirit of God lives within us. We're holding it. People always think, like, oh, God's heaven, he's so far away. And he's not, he's here. And all you have to do is have a conversation. And I think sometimes prayer is intimidating for people because they think that, when they watch other people pray, it's like these beautiful, elaborate prayers. And they're like, gosh, I wish I could pray like that. My prayers aren't going to go beyond the ceiling.
Mm,
But talk to God like you talk to a regular person. Start there.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And
Amen.
then, open up the Bible and, you know, learn, read. And if you're not quite sure, there is someone that you can ask. But start with prayer, because it's really about relationship. That's
Mm-hmm,
all God wants from us from the very beginning, was relationship. So
mm-hmm,
talk to him just like you're talking to a friend, and be
mm-hmm,
sincere about it.
mm-hmm.
And as you do it more often, it gets easier and you'll find that you get closer.
Love it. Love that, my friend. I really do. I think that that's kind of where I'm catching myself at. I would say when COVID first happened, actually, yeah, literally when COVID first happened, that week of like when the NBA shut down, that's like my barometer of like when the world, when the NBA said we're canceling the season, I was like, okay, something's going on here. I had gotten into a car accident that the 2 days prior to that, where I was like at a
Mm.
red light and I was coming home like literally 2 minutes from the house, and I'm sitting at a red light and car just speeding behind me just slammed right in the back of me with like no warning. It was really really crazy and really scary and shocking. Thankfully, everything was okay with me. Um, but I remember that being like a moment where I'm like, that was 3 months into this whole journey of content creation that I'm doing. And I was really pouring a lot into it. And I was really excited about it and everything like that. That accident kind of made me take a step back and say that, I need to be thankful, more thankful for everything that, God has given us, everything that God's given me
Hmm.
up to this point. I feel like I hadn't been, uh, how do I best articulate it? I I wasn't, yeah, acknowledging his presence in all these things as much as I felt like I should have been, right? And so I remember that being like a wake up call, so to speak, at that time. And then, like where I was praying a lot, reading the Bible, I was doing these things that I felt like I definitely needed and wanted to do. And then slowly but surely, sure enough, after that, life happens, and I kind of just fell off a little bit with that. So that question that I asked you just now was more so, um, you know, for me and for anyone else out there that kind of wants a little bit of guidance and some, inspiration and that type of thing. So I definitely appreciate those words. We're gonna talk about you having an opportunity to put anything that you want onto a billboard, and I want to know like what you would like said on this billboard.
So when I was thinking about the answer to this question, I was kind of like thinking of like a million things I can put up there. But the one thing that kind of really stood out to me that I would want to share with anybody, they can be driving on the highway, your faith is your compass.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that sometimes we feel like we get lost. Sometimes we feel like we're, like you mentioned, about being so far away or feeling so distant from God. And, we just kind of, get lost in certain places, in certain spaces. And to always remember your faith will always point you to God. And if your faith is pointing you to God, you're never lost. You're
Mm-hmm.
in good hands. He knows exactly what his plans are for you,
Yeah.
and he knows your beginning, he knows your end. So your faith will always be your compass. And you can slap my face on there too with like something goofy.
You have the sentimental words on one side, and then on the other side you have your face and just whatever else. There you go. There you go. I love it. You feel like you have a silly side to you, like that's a
Oh,
major part of your personality.
it is.
Mm-hmm.
It is. I have that serious sentimental side, but when I'm around like my loved ones and everything, I'm so silly. I'm a ball of fun.
Yeah. I get that impression from you just from the 32 minutes and 14 seconds that we've been talking here. And so I was trying to think. So did you know of me in high school? Let's put it that way. Because you were 1 year younger than me. You were Jess's year, right? I think.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. And I'm trying to think. I definitely, I knew more people, obviously my year, but other than my year, I knew people 1 year younger than you because that's when my sister graduated. So I knew more people 2 years younger, but I didn't know as many people in your class. And I was trying to think if we ever crossed paths, but that was so many years ago. So it's hard to think back that far.
High school it was a blur. I don't really remember too much of high school, and I was barely there my senior year. But let's not talk about that because I
Yeah.
don't want them to take my diploma, which will
Right.
impact my bachelor's and then my master's. We'll just keep that between us.
Exactly. This part also gets snipped out. That's fine. No problem. I got my video editing skills up. That's no problem whatsoever. That's just it's 2 clicks of the mouse, or in my case, 2 touches of the iPad screen. No problem.
Boom.
Hmm. Question that just came to mind: between high school, college and say the 4 years right after you graduated college, which of those three time frames did you enjoy the most? And then I'll answer too, because I'm thinking about my answer.
I enjoyed undergrad. Those are the best times
Right.
of my life. And
Okay.
I rushed it. And I wish I would have done so much more. When I talk to young people, I'm like, take your time, network, meet people, take advantage of everything. Have a great time, but also get your education. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. For
But
sure.
those
Sure.
were the best years of my life.
That's awesome. Where did you go to school? Uh-oh.
So I went to the University of Pittsburgh for my undergrad, and then I did my grad work at Rutgers.
Ah, okay. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I'm gonna say so I went to Rutgers for undergrad. And I didn't live on campus because my parents, I lived at home. My parents like right in the backyard of Rutgers practically. So I opted out of that. I would have liked to have spent 1 year or one semester. Like looking back, I would have definitely done that. But you don't live
You were
in
smart.
I am. I'm extremely intelligent, actually. I was maybe too smart for my own good. I was kind of like thinking about these future things and thinking about how, just the monetary aspect and how it just didn't make financial sense, at the time. But I definitely would say that right when I graduated, like to have the job that I had, where it was, a job that a lot of my peers were working to provide for their families, and of course at that time I didn't have a family that I needed to provide for, so I was able to. I really enjoyed that level of success, and the hard work of the degree, engineering degree, like sort of paying off to now be able to just enjoy the money, actually, for those first 4 years. It was super dope. It was like it was really like I was like, oh, and I remember one day, like really the first couple of weeks or months after starting to work there, and I was just like, all right, so after a long day at work, I can go home. And I was like, I don't have any homework. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's no homework. I don't have to like, study for this test or do this homework or anything. It was really like a nice feeling. I was like, I can do so many different things from 5 o'clock to 12 o'clock now, or whatever time I needed to get to bed. It was really a night. I remember that being like a moment where I was just like, okay, this is pretty cool. So I want to go into a music question. I want to know a little bit about your favorite artists and such. So we're going to talk about
Okay.
5 artists that would be at your dream concert, that are going to perform for you. And I want to know, and they can be living or dead. And I want to know which artists that you would like to see there.
Oh man, me. I'm an old soul. They actually gay school. So this is getting ready to be really interesting. I would love to see Whitney Houston. I love her voice. Oh my gosh. So I need her um in concert. I need CC Winans. CC Winans' voice is so like underrated. And I think because she is a gospel artist, she doesn't get the credit. But if you see Whitney Houston and CC Winans sing together, oh my goodness. I think CC got Whitney.
Wow. Okay.
So I would have CC there. So that's two. I love Adele. I wish she would put another record out. That's my
Uh-huh.
girl.
Uh-huh.
I
Uh-huh.
love strong voices. And I love the stories in music. I
Mm,
love that. I secretly love country music too, by the way. Um,
okay.
let's see who else. Put me some Tasha Cobbs in there. Get me in the spirit. She has
Mm-hmm.
a very strong voice, very anointed woman of God. So I add her in there. And I'm always a Toni Braxton fan. I
Ah,
love
very
me some
distinct
Toni
voice.
Braxton.
Tony
So
got.
there's a mix.
Okay. I like that. That's a nice mix, very nice
Yeah.
mix.
And when she's like in pain, boy, that music is strong. Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's really cool. Okay. That's a solid mix there. I'm gonna say, let me think for a second. When you say
Mm-hmm.
Whitney, that's Jess's favorite. That's her number one right there. She's a huge fan of hers as well. And
Mm.
I'm gonna say too, when you mentioned Adele, a friend of mine, well, two friends of mine now, we're starting to do like some covers of different songs where like I'm on the keys, and the woman in our group, she's a singer, and then my friend plays the guitar, and sometimes we do like
Okay.
backups. So we did one song so far, and the first one we did was Rolling in the Deep. I'll send it to you later so you can check it out. And as we're doing it, and I'm practicing playing it and stuff, and listening to it a lot, listening to the actual song. Of course I've heard it back, when it was real popular, but like listening to, like you said, the way she sings
Mm.
and the words, it's super powerful. You are not kidding at all. It's very inspiring, and like
Mhm.
you feel her pain. It's like I don't want you to feel pain, but I do appreciate that you feel it, because now you're like able to come up with these really, really intricate and powerful songs, you know? What do you have planned for the rest of the night?
I'm just in time for Bible study, probably sign on to that. And I am working on a blog.
Oh,
So
very
that's
cool.
something I'm working on. So I need
Okay.
to do some writing.
Okay. Do you like writing?
Yeah. I do, but I really underestimated myself because when I was in college, I could pop these papers out like it was nothing. And
Yeah.
now to, I guess, maybe write what's maybe meaningful and like inside the heart is a different story. So it's
Uh-huh.
taken a lot out of me, but we're gonna work through this.
I love it. I'm looking forward to seeing it. So that is the website up already, or is this something that's coming in the future?
No,
Not yet.
coming in the future. I'm
Okay.
working on it. Yeah,
Very cool.
slowly but surely, but I'll get there.
Very cool. I'm excited for you. I'm just I just want to say
Thank
I'm
you.
super appreciative of you, coming on here, and I look forward to even, at some point next year, right? Having you back on, and we can do like a touch base, on where we are on our journeys, and just continuing to inspire each other and to inspire others. I think is just super
Right.
important, and I
Hmm.
think that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about right now, and I'm just very happy to see that people like you are doing such inspiring work.
Thank you.
Very welcome. You're very
Thank you.
welcome. So that is where we're going to wrap it up. Let me give you an opportunity to let my audience know where they can reach you.
Okay, so I'm on Instagram. My Instagram handle is Nicole Nicole dot Murray, which is Maree dot 87, and that's my Instagram handle, and that's where I do most of like all of my posts and everything. And pretty soon, I'm in it with Cole.com, and I'll let you know when that happens.
Awesome. I can't wait for that. My friend, thank you so much for hopping on. Enjoy Bible study tonight, and have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the night. Okay.
Thank you so much. You take care. Let Jess know I said hello.
I will. I will. Take care now.
Bye.